Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Can you guys please confirm in the chat I am audible? Yes. Welcome everyone to another session of this bootcamp. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Okay, great. Great, guys. So guys, today we will be discussing about object-oriented programming. Okay, what is this class, object, everything. But before going to the session, we have an exciting announcement today. That is, today we are going to have one quiz, right? That is on Kahoot, and that quiz will be taken at the end of the session or between the session, that we will be seeing. Okay, but the winner of the quiz will be getting some recognition on the social media platform of the LetsUpgrade. So guys, please be there in the session, and you will be able to attend that quiz, and you will be getting something. Okay, some recognition there. That is clear. Share my screen. So let me share my screen, guys. Okay, this one here. So shall we start the session now, everyone? Great. Yes, I can see no excitement in the chat. Please give a thumbs up, everyone. Yes. Let me refresh my page, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So let's start the session now, guys, right? Without wasting our time, let's start the session. So today we will be discussing about object-oriented programming. Okay, so before moving to object-oriented programming, so the first thing is what? Programming paradigm, right? Here. Programming paradigm here, right? So what does this paradigm means, guys? Anyone? What does this paradigm means? This is a way to do something, right? The meaning of paradigm is way to do something, right? Okay. And what does this programming paradigm means? Way to perform a task, right? Way to program your code, way to perform a task, or way to program, or we can say कि hey, way to structure your code. Okay, the more simple definition is what programming paradigm means: way to structure your code, right? Write code here. This is clear? Yes, everyone. The meaning of programming paradigm is clear. So guys, in the last two sessions, we are discussing about functions, right? Yes or no? So there we are following what? We are following functional programming. Yes or no? So we have generally 3 to 4 programming paradigm. That is your procedural programming. Okay. Programming. The second one is your object-oriented programming. My voice is low. Okay. Can you guys confirm in the chat my voice is audible or it is low? Okay, great. Now, everyone, I am audible. Yes, everyone. Now everyone is clear, right? Yeah. Great. Can you guys please confirm in the chat? Yeah. Okay, great. So here, so we are discussing about programming paradigm. Okay, basically we are discussing about object-oriented programming. But before moving to the object-oriented programming, let's first discuss about programming paradigm. What is programming paradigm? It is a way to do something, right? That is way to structure your code or write your code. So in the previous session, we are discussing about procedural programming, right? And in the today's session, we are going to learn about object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming. So basically, we have four kind of programming paradigm. That is your procedural programming, object-oriented programming, right? And your functional programming, and your reactive programming, okay? Programming and your reactive programming here. Okay, everyone. So in the previous session, we are discussing about procedural programming, or you can say functional programming, right? So here, let's start with the procedural programming. Let's discuss basic stuff of the procedural programming here. That is this procedural programming here, right? Programming here. So what do I mean by procedural programming paradigm, right? What does it mean? It is first, procedural means what? Procedural means what, guys? Okay, procedural is the old school name of function. Okay, the first point is procedural is the old school name of function, right? And what is the meaning of procedural? Procedural meaning is way to do something, way to set of instruction to get something done. Okay, we can say like this: set of instruction to get something done, right? To get something done here, right? Okay, great. So basically here, what does this procedural programming means? Okay, first we are discussing what procedure. What is procedure? It is an old school name of function, and procedure means set of instruction to get something done, right? Everyone, to get something done. And this procedural programming says ki, okay, we structure our code around procedures, right? We structure our code into bunch of procedure. Okay, and guys, we have learned about functions, right? What we do, guys, in the function, we write some set of instruction, right? And basically from a function we call, okay, from a function we call another function also, right? So each procedure may internally call another function also, another procedure also, right? Each procedure may internally call another procedure, right? This also we have discussed in the previous session. Yes or no? That is, we have the main function, and from the main function, what we are doing, guys? We are calling some function that is increment, right, everyone? Yes or no? We are calling this increment function. So from each procedure, we may internally call another procedure, right? And guys, in procedural programming, in functional programming, your execution of program starts from what point? It starts from the special function, and the name of the special function is what? Main function, right? Main procedure, right? So execution of program start from special function, and the name of that special function is what? Main function, right, everyone? This is clear? Yes. Everyone, this is clear. So in the previous two sessions, we are discussing about procedural programming, or you can say functional programming, right? And in the today's session, we will be starting with the object-oriented programming. Okay, it is one of the type of programming paradigm only, right? That is object-oriented programming, right? Okay. So guys, what does this object-oriented programming means? Anyone? What is the meaning of object-oriented programming? Okay. It is a way to write our code. It is a way to structure our code, right? Where software system is structured around class and object. Where software system is structured around entities or object, right, everyone? So here, object-oriented programming is one of the type of programming paradigm, right? Programming paradigm, that is, it is a way to write the code, or way to program where software system is structured around entities, right? Is structured around entities, right? That is your object. Yes, everyone. That is clear. Yes or no? So here, entities are the core construct, right? Entities are the core construct. Great. So here, now we will be discussing about object-oriented programming, and here what we are doing, basically we are writing a program such that a software system is structured around class and object only, right? So then what is a class? Okay, what is a class? Anyone from the audience? What is a class? Yes. What is a class? Class is a blueprint or template that defines the properties and functions of an object, right? So here, class is what? It is blueprint or template that define the properties and function of a specific object, right? Of a specific object, right, everyone? This is clear. Yes. So let's take one example, right? Let's take one example here. So let's assume here, right? We have to do what we have to construct a building. Okay, in the building we have to construct multiple flats, right? Yes or no? So basically, we will go to the architecture, right? And that architecture will do what? That architecture will create a blueprint or template for your flat, right? For your flat here. That let's assume here we have this blueprint here, right? And in this blueprint, let's assume this area is for the house, right? This area is for the room, right? This is our kitchen, right? This is the hall here, right? Like this. Okay, so this is a blueprint, right? Yes or no? This is a blueprint of the flat, right, everyone? So here, and this blueprint is doing what? Basically, this blueprint is defining the properties and functionality of a flat, right, everyone? It is defining the properties and functionality of a flat. After that, you will go to the builder, right? And that builder will do what? That builder will take the blueprint, and according to the blueprint, it will create the flat. That is, if this is your building, then here, like this. If it is, if it has 3 floors, like this, right? 3 floor here. So each floor is having the same design, right? Yes or no, guys? Each floor is having the same design. Okay. So when this here, when this building is the build, right? When this building is built, and now you are here, right? Now you are using the functionalities and properties of this building, right? So this is called as object, right? This is called as object. So object is what? Object is a real world entity, right? Real world entities. Okay. With the help of which you can access the properties and functionality of a class, right? Yes or no? That is clear? Okay. So object are real world entities that hold, okay, the properties and functionalities of a class, right? Properties and functionalities that hold properties and functionalities of a class. Right, anyone? That is clear? Yes or no? So now the object is in front of you. That is, the flat is now built. Now you can go inside the flat. Now you can use the room. Now you can use the kitchen. Now you can use the hall. So basically what you're doing with the help of the object, you are using the properties and functionality of a class, right? Yes or no? That is clear? Okay. Can you guys please confirm in the chat? This is clear? Okay. The next part is what? The next part is what? Here you can see, guys, right? When you have the blueprint, right? When you have the blueprint, at that time, there is no land occupied, right? There is no memory occupied. Yes or no? When you have the blueprint, that blueprint is on the paper, right? You haven't done anything on the land, right, everyone? You haven't occupied any land on the earth, right, everyone? You haven't occupied any space. Yes, everyone? You haven't occupied any space here. So blueprint doesn't take any space, right? Doesn't take any space in the memory, right? And the second point is what? You can see, guys, this object, when the objects are created, right, these objects are taking space on the earth, right? These flats are taking space on the earth. So basically our objects take space in the memory, right? So object take space in the memory. This is clear. And the second observation is what? With the help of one blueprint, right? With the help of one blueprint, you can create multiple objects, right? Multiple object. Yes or no, guys? This is clear. With the help of one blueprint, you can create multiple objects. Okay. So guys, what we have learned till now, okay, again, we are learning about programming paradigm. Okay, what is programming paradigm? That is way to program, that is way to write your code. So basically in the previous two sessions, we are discussing about procedural programming, where we are dealing with procedure, that is, it is the old school name of function, where we are writing our code, where we are structuring our program around procedures, right? After that, now in the today's session, we are learning about object oriented programming. It is a way to program where our software system is implemented around class and object, right? What is class? Class is a blueprint or template that defines the properties and functionality of a specific object. And what is an object? Objects are real world entity with the help of which we can access those properties and functionalities that are defined inside the blueprint or inside the class, right, everyone? And you can see, guys, if you're able to relate with the flat and this map, then you can understand this point. Okay, this blueprint is not occupying any space, right? These objects are occupying space in the memory, and with the help of one blueprint, you can create multiple objects, right, everyone? Till this point, everyone is clear? Yes. So now, how to define class in C++? Okay, so we have to use a keyword class, right? And let's assume, let's assume we have to create a blueprint of our employee. Okay, so basically, let's assume you are working on this employee management system. Okay, and in this employee management system, you have to do what? You have to insert record of employee, right? Insert record of employee. Okay, display the record, and we have to modify, right? We have to modify the employee record, and we have to, let's assume, do the searching also, right? Let's assume we have to do the searching also, right? Here. So now here, so basically now we have to deal with the employee data, right? Employee data, yes or no? So first we have to define the properties and functionality of an employee, right, everyone? So what I will do, first I will create a blueprint of an employee here, right? That is class employee. right here. So we have to write the name, right? That is class, that is the keyword here, class. And after that, the name of the class, it can be anything. In our example, we are taking employee. After that, open and close curly bracket, and here we have to define the properties and functionalities, right everyone? Here we have to define the properties and functionalities, right? So let's assume here, let's first define the properties, right? This one, properties. So properties are what? We have the name of the employee, right? If this is an employee in some company XYZ, right? Employee in some company XYZ, then this employee will have some name, right? Will have some name, will have some ID, right? Will have some ID, and this employee will be having some designation also, right? Yes or no? Okay. Similarly, it will be having age, CTC, right? And experience also, right? How much experience he is having in this company, right, everyone? Okay. So these are what? These are the properties of an employee, right? So we have to create a blueprint. We have to create a blueprint of the employee, right? Yes or no? So here, what I will do, I will define these properties inside my class employee, right? That is, we have this name, right? So let's take this array char name 30, right? So what we have done here, we have defined an array of character type, and here the name of the array is what? Name, right? Similarly, let's assume char ID. Okay, ID here. ID is 5, right? Not more than 5. Similarly, we have the designation also, that is char designation here, right? And let's assume the length of the designation is 10 here. Similarly, we have the age. Age is in integer, right? Age will be in integer. And what about CTC? CTC will be in float, right, everyone? Let's take float. That is float CTC here, right? And after that, we have the experience also, right? So char experience, right? And let's assume the length of the experience array is 20 here, right? This is clear? Yes or no, everyone? So what we have done, we have defined the properties of a class. And these properties in C++ are called data members, right? These properties in C++ are called what? It is called data members. Okay. So please explain with codes. Yes, I will write the code. Okay, Anand. Let's first discuss the terms. And when the terminology is clear, then I will write the code also. Okay. But everyone is getting the point what I am doing here, right? Basically, I am creating the blueprint of a employee, right? So here, let me write the code also. This one here, right? So here, I will use this using space here, right? This one. So let us define some class here, right? So basically, we are creating this employee management system, and for the employee management system, what we want to define the blueprint of the employee, right? So class and employee here, right? Like this. And after the closing curly bracket, you have to write semicolon also. Okay. And after this point here, you have to define the properties, right? Properties of the employee, right? So what properties we have defined? We have defined the name, right? We have defined the name, that is char name here. And let's assume the length of the name array is 30, right? Similarly, we have defined this char ID, and the name of the ID is 5 here. Similarly, we have the designation, that is char designation here, and the length of designation is 10 here, right? Similarly, we have the age, that is int age, and float CTC, right? Float CTC here. And after that, we have the experience also, right? That is char experience, right? This one here. And let's assume the experience is 20, right? 20 here. This is clear, everyone? Yes or no? And these are the data members, right? These are the data members here. Okay. data members, that is your properties, right? Properties here, okay, or data members, right? Data members here, right? And after that, after defining the properties, right, now we have to define the functionalities also, right? Now we have to define the functionality of this class employee, right? So let's assume the functionalities are what? Functionalities here, right? Functionalities are what? Functionalities are, the first functionality is, let's assume we have a insert function, and that insert function does what? It creates a new employee, right? So let's create a insert function here, that is void insert, like this, okay. And here, see out, let me write the message, that is enter name of employee, right? Enter name of employee here, okay, that is this one here. And okay, to get something, okay, to take input from the user, we use this cin keyword, okay, that is cin and this arrow here, right? And this will take input from the user, and where I have to store the input? Inside the name, right? Inside the name. Similarly, let me create for the remaining data members, that is enter name of, not name, enter id, right? Enter id of employee, and here id, right? And similarly, we have this one, that is designation, right? Designation here, okay. Enter designation here, right? This one. And similarly for the remaining one, right? That is age, CTC, and experience, right? So here we have age, CTC, and experience, right? Experience here. So here age, so this one is age here, this one is CTC here, and this one is experience, right? This one, right? This is clear, everyone. What I have done here is I have defined some data members and some functionalities also, right? And here the first functionality is what? I'm taking input from the user, right, inside this insert function, right? That is clear with the help of this cin keyword, right? This is clear? Yes, everyone. Okay. Sir, it is important to mention the array length. Suppose experience take more than 20 char, then okay, we will be discussing about those cases also, right? Santu, let me first complete this part, and when I will move to the constructor, then I will discuss about those cases, okay? But till this point, everyone is clear. What are the data members? What is a class? What is an object? How to declare a class, and how to define the data member and member function of a class. That is clear. And how to take input from the user. Yes, everyone. Please give a thumbs up in the chat if this is clear. Yes. Okay. Now I have defined the blueprint of the employee class, right, everyone? I have defined the blueprint of the employee class. Now I have to create the object, right? In order to use the properties and functionality of a class, we have to create the object, right, everyone? Yes or no? We have to create the object. So what is the symbol of creating that object? So here the first symbol is what? I will use this, that is the name of the class. The name of the class is what? Employee here, employee, right? And after that, the identifier here, that is your reference variable name, that is E1. Let's assume the first employee is E1 here. So what I have done here, I have created an employee E1 here. This is what? This is an object. Object here. Right, everyone? So let me first discuss about object, and after that I will come back to the programming here, right? So here I have defined this class, right? I have created a blueprint of the class employee. After that, now I have to create the object and I have to use the data member and member function that I have defined inside the class. So here, there are two ways to create the object. The first way is what? 1 minute. This one. This one here, right? Okay. So here, object, right? The first way is what? We can, in the previous session, we have discussed about static memory area and dynamic memory area, right? Your stack is what? Your stack is a static memory area and your heap is what? It is a dynamic memory area, right everyone? Yes or no? In the last session, we have discussed about your stack and heap, and if we are not using new keyword, then memory is allocated where? It is allocated inside the stack memory area. And when we are using the new keyword, then the memory is allocated where? It is allocated inside the heap memory area, right everyone? So here we have this stack memory area and we have this heap memory area, right? And what we have discussed in the last session, we have discussed that this stack, the size of the stack memory area is fixed, right? It is fixed. Yes, everyone? Yes, everyone? Yes or no? So when you are defining some data structure, when you are defining some variable and the size of the variable or the size of the data structure is known at compile time, then try to allocate memory inside the stack, right? And when you don't know about the size of the data structure, when you don't know about the size of the variable, then try to allocate the memory inside the heap, right? Yes or no? This we have discussed, yeah, right everyone? So here, if I'm writing int I is equal to 10, right? Then for I variable, memory is allocated where? For I variable, 4 byte is allocated inside the stack area, right everyone? Yes or no? And when I'm writing like this, that is int star I is equal to new int, then the new keyword is doing what? This new keyword is allocating memory inside the heap, that is 4 byte here. And this new keyword will allocate memory inside the heap and it will return the starting address, right? That is, let's assume the starting address is 700. And that starting address we have to store somewhere. So where we are storing? We are storing inside a pointer, right everyone? We are storing inside the pointer. So here we have 8 byte. Yes, pointer occupies how much byte? It occupies 8 byte, right? So here the left hand side part will get created inside your stack, right? Because here we are not having any new keyword, and the right hand side part will get created inside your heap. And the right hand side part, that is your new keyword, is responsible for allocating memory inside the heap, and it will return the starting address of the memory block, that is 700. And this 700 will get stored inside the left hand side part, that is here. Right everyone? Yes or no? This is clear? Please give a thumbs up if this is clear. Yes. Similarly, if I have to define the object, right? If I have to define the object, then again we have two memory area, right? That is your stack and your heap, right? This one here. So here, stack and heap, right? 1 minute, guys. Yeah. So here, this is your stack and this is your heap, right? And what we have discussed in the variable class, we have discussed, okay, if I have to store integer kind of data, right? If I have to store integer kind of data, then the data type is what? It is int, right? Int. And after that, we are doing what? We are defining the name of the variable. Let's assume the name is var is equal to 10, right? And this will do what? It will allocate 4 byte, and inside 4 byte, 10 will get stored in binary format, right everyone? That is clear. Similarly, if I have to define the object, okay, then what I will do? I will write the name of the class, okay? Here, the name of the class. And class is what? Class is a user-defined data type, right? User-defined data type. Okay, so here again I have to write the data type. Now, what kind of information I'm storing inside the memory? What kind of information I'm storing inside the memory? I'm storing information about employee. So here the name of the data type is employee, right? Employee here. And after that, name of the reference variable, that is name of the variable here, right? That is E1, right? This one. So what we have done, we have created an object, and this object, for this object, memory will get allocated inside stack, because we are not using any new keyword, right? Because we are not using any new keyword. And what will be the size of the memory block here? So the size of the memory block is dependent on the data members you have defined inside the class, right? You have defined inside the class here. So here, this one, that is, you can see, right? So here we have defined 4 data members, right? 4, and we have this float also, float CTC, right? And we have one more data members, right? That is experience, right? So we have one more data member experience here, right? This one here. And let's assume the size is 10 again, right? So here you can see, guys, cat takes how many bytes? Cat takes 2 bytes, right? And here we have defined an array of cat, right? So here 30 block, 30 into 2, that is 60 byte here, right? And after that, 5 into 2, that is 20, 5 into 2, that is 10 byte here. And similarly, 10 into 2, that is 20 byte here. Similarly, this int age will occupy 4 byte, and this float will occupy 4 byte, and this char experience array will occupy 20 byte, right? Here 10 blocks, one block is of 2 byte, 10 block is of 20 byte, right? And the total memory is what? That is 60, 70, 90, and 110, 118, right, everyone? 118 byte. So here also approx, okay, not exactly 118 byte, but approx 118 byte will be allocated inside the stack, right? 118 byte approx, right? There are a lot of different parameters, but yes, it is approx around 118 byte will get allocated behind the scene in the stack. This is clear? This is clear? Okay. Does class occupy memory? You have the blueprint, right? You have the blueprint of the house, right? Here. This is the blueprint of the house here, right? This house blueprint is occupying any space on the land? Tell me, Ankit. This blueprint is occupying any space on the land? Yes or no? No, right? No. Yes or no? No. So your class doesn't occupy any space. It occupies a very negligible space, and we can ignore that space. Okay. You guys are getting the point? Yes or no? Oh, can take 1 bytes. Okay. Can take 1 byte. So this will be 10 bytes. This will be 10 bytes, right? And this will be 30 bytes, right? Okay, my mistake here. Here also 5 byte. Okay, great. So here, so now you can calculate. Okay, you guys are getting the concept? Yes or no? This is clear. How memory is getting allocated for stack is clear for this object. Yes or no? Similarly, here also, if I have to define an object and I have to allocate memory inside the heap, then I will go with the new keyword, right? So here what I will do, again, I have to write the data type. So the data type is user defined data type, that is your name of the class. And after that, we have to write something here is equal to new, right? We have to use a new keyword, new, and after that, employee, right? Employee, this one. This is clear. And now this new will do what? It will go and allocate memory inside the heap, right, everyone? It will go and allocate memory inside the heap, right? And after that, it will return the starting address. Let's assume the starting address is 8090. So here it will return the starting address. Okay. It will return the starting address. And now we have to store the starting address somewhere. Where we will store the address? Address is stored inside the pointer. So here also we will store the address inside the pointer, right? And here this E2 is the pointer to a variable employee. That is clear. Everyone, please write in the chat if this is clear. Yes or no? Okay, Ankit is saying, but it takes 1 byte. Okay, I have done a small mistake, Ankit. Okay, it is taking 1 byte, right? Then 30 byte is clear. One block is 1 byte, then 30 block is 30 byte, right? Similarly, this is 5 block, 1 block of 1 byte, 5 block of 5 byte, 10 byte, 4 byte, 4 byte, and 10 byte. So you can calculate the size, right? You can calculate the size, and after that, you can define the size, right? Okay. By default, if you are not array, okay, great. 1 minute. This one here, right? So Ankit has one question here, right? Here, that is Ankit is saying, okay, if I will just define a class employee and I will not create any data member inside this class, will it take any memory? Will it take any memory? Since this class is not taking any memory, this program, right? You have written a program, right? This program, this blueprint is not taking a memory. 1 byte is allocated, okay? By default, 1 byte or 5 byte or 8 byte, depending on the compiler, it will get allocated, not for this class, right? Not for this class here, okay? Some byte gets allocated so that you can run your code, right? So that you can run your class. You're getting the point, Ankit? Yes or no? And everyone present in the class? Okay. Basically, the program, the code you write, right? The code you write, that code takes negligible amount of memory. Okay, negligible amount of memory. And we can ignore this negligible amount of memory. Basically, your variable, your data structures take memory inside your computer, right? This is clear. Variable data structure takes memory inside your computer. Okay, everyone, please give a thumbs up if it is clear. Yes. So now the syntax is also clear, everyone. That is how to create an object. Okay, that is employee E1 and this employee star E2 is equal to new employee. Yes, everyone. Okay, so let me create one object here, right? So I've already created an employee E1 object, that is your static object, right? Similarly, if I have to create a dynamic object, right? Dynamic object, what I will do? I will write employee E2, right? And here star E2, right? Asterisk E2, because this E2 will receive a address, right? Is equal to new employee, this one here, and this one here, right? Like this. This is clear, everyone? Yes, please show some excitement in the class, right? Yeah, this one. So I have created two objects, right? One is a static object and one is a dynamic object. What is does this static object means? That is memory is allocated inside the stack. And what does this dynamic object means? Memory is allocated inside the heap, right, everyone? Now what I have to do? I have to call the now I have to use, with the help of the object, what we can do? We can use the data member and member function of a class. Now, guys, I have to use the data member. That is these data member I have to use, right? So let's try to use the data member. Let's see whether we are able to use the data member or not, right? So here, let me comment this part first, and after that, I will come to this part, right? So now, in order to access the data member, let's assume the data member is E1 here, right? Here, Cin, and here, not Cin, right? So here E1 dot age, right, is equal to what? Age is equal to 20. Let's see what output I will get, whether I will get some output or I will get some error. Let's see here, right? So you can see, guys, this one. So here we are getting an error. What error we are getting? It is saying ki, hey, this is private within the context. So by default, if you are not specifying any access modifier, then it will take private by default, right? Private means you can access the data member within the same class, but not outside the class, right? So here you can see, guys, what we are doing. We are accessing this each data member outside the class, that is inside the main function. And that's why we are getting an error, because by default all the data members and member functions are private in a class, right? And what does this private means? That is private data members and member functions are accessible inside the class. It is not accessible outside the class, right? So in order to make the data member and member function accessible outside the class, you have to use public access specifier, right? So what I will do now, I will use a keyword here, that is public, right? And then colon. Okay, now let's see what output I will get, whether now I'm getting some error or not. So you can see guys, now I'm not getting any error. That means now I am able to use the data members here, right? Now I am able to use the data members here, right? So now if I will print the data, let's see out e1.age, right? e1.age here. Let's see whether we are able to get the output or not. So you can see we are getting 20 on the output screen, right? By making the data members and member function as public, you can access the data member and member function outside the class. This is clear? Everyone present in the class, this is clear? Yes or no? Please give a thumbs up if this is clear. If you have any questions, you can write in the chat, okay? We will call the function also, right? But first we should know now why we are not able to access this e1.age directly, right? Great. Yes, sir. Now, again, always you can see guys, right? What you are doing here, basically you are making the data member as public. So anyone can access your data member. Anyone can modify your data member, right? Yes or no? Anyone can access your data member. Anyone can play with your data, right? Data storage here. So somehow you have to make this data as private, right? So that it is not accessible outside the class. And whatever modification, whatever updation you are doing within the help of a function only. So what I will do now, I will make this data member as private, okay? And I will make this member function as public, right? Public here, right? And now we will be seeing in the next class, we will be seeing when we are making the login wala part. In the login wala part, we will be seeing ki, okay, this insertion operation is only accessible by the admin, not by any other else, right? So we are doing what? Basically, we are supporting data hiding here, right? That is clear. Yes or no? By making the data member as private, we are hiding the details of the employee class outside the class, right? That is clear. And it is a very good practice to make the data member as private, right? And always try to access the data member with the help of a function only, right? And try to make the function as public, whatever function you have to make, right? According to the problem statement, right? Now let's run the code. Now let's see what output I will get. Okay, now here, this one, right? Here, let's remove this part now. And now what I have to do, I have to call the insert function, that is e1.insert, right? e1.insert here. Let's see. So basically what we are doing, with the help of the object, right, with the help of the instance of a class, we are calling the member function that are defined inside the class, right? Yes or no? Okay, that is clear. So here, let me see the output, right? So here now you can see. So now you can see guys, enter name of employee. So first, what we are doing, our code will start, the execution will start from the main function. You will go to line number 35. At line number 35, you are defining an object. That means the memory will get allocated inside your stack. And how much byte? It depends on the data member you have defined inside the class, right? And after that, what you're doing, with the help of the object, you are calling the member function of a class, that is insert. So from 36 line, you will directly jump to the 17 line. And now line number 18 is executed. And because of this line, you are getting enter name of employee on the output screen. And after that, you are moving to the next line. And at the next line, what we are doing, we are taking input, right? We are taking input from the user. So let's see now. Great. So here, right? Name is what? Abhishek, right? Abhishek here, and Abhi, right? Let's assume the name is Abhishek Abhi here, right? And after that, let me hit on the enter button, right? So you can see, guys, what is happening here. The moment I have hit on the enter button, this part is skipped. That is enter ID of employee. This part is skipped. You can see, guys. And you are directly jumping to the designation. Why? Because when you are using this, when you are using character array, right? When you are using character array and this character array, and when you are taking input from the user using scene, it will just take a word, right? It will not take the whole sentence. It will not take a whole line, right, everyone? In order to take a whole line, you have to use a function that is getLine, right, everyone? You have to use a function that is getLine here, right, everyone? So here also, what I will do, this one. So if you want to take a complete input, then don't go with scene here, go with getLine, right? So getLine here, and inside getLine function, you will get the name. Okay, you have to write the variable where you have to take the input, right? The name of the variable, and after that, the size of, you have to use size of here, and inside this name, right? This one. So now let's run the code. This one. Okay. So here we are getting an error here, right? What error? Get line, right? That is, I have done a small mistake or what? Okay. Shit. I have to write the whole code from scratch or what? Okay. Class. That is a mistake, right? So guys, my mistake. I have to write the whole code, right? Again, that is class employee here, and after that, what I have to do? Let's define the age. Okay, this one here. I will not take all the data members. Let's take some data members, right? Int age, char name, okay, and this char name is 30 here, and designation, that is char designation here, right? And this is 10, right? And after that, we have this void insert function, and inside the insert function, we are taking input, right? That is cout name of the employee, right? Cout name of the employee here, and this is Endel. Move to the next line, and after that we will take the name. So if I am taking scene will do what? If you are taking input from the user using scene, what will happen, guys? It will just take a word. It will not take a whole line. That means after space it will terminate. In order to take the input for the whole line, you have to use get line. That is scene dot get line, scene dot get line here, and inside this I have to take the input, that is name, and after that size of, you have to use size of operator, you have to give the size also, right? That is size of, and the size of name here, right? This one here. And similarly, I will take the input for the age also, that is age, and let me enclose this in double quotes, this one here, right? Age, and handle here. And after that, this age is what? This age is a integer data type, so you can use scene, okay? Scene age here, right? This one here. Similarly, we have for the designation also, right? This one, and designation here, right? So this designation here, and since this designation is a character array, so again it can have a space. So if it has a space, then go with the get line, right? In order to take the input of the whole line, right, everyone? This one here and this one here, right? And let me create the display function also, right? Let us create the display function also, that is void display. And in the display function, what we have to do? We have to display the name, age, and designation, that is cout. Cout name, and after that we have to display the age also, and we have to display the designation also, right? Designation also. This is designation, and this is designation. Okay. Designation here also, and designation here also, right? And here also designation we have. This one, right? Let's see whether we are going in the right direction or not, right? So here, what I will do, I will create the employee object, that is this one, employee E1, and after that E1 dot insert, right? And after inserting, what we have to do, we have to print the data, that is E1 dot display, right? E1 dot display here. Okay, so like this, right? And here let me write the keyword also, that is return keyword. Okay, it is a good practice to write the return keyword. Okay, so here also return, right? Return, right? This one here, let me run the code now. So we are getting some what we are getting, we are getting error, right? What error we are getting? Okay, we have to use using namespace std, right? Namespace std here, right everyone? Let's see now. E1 dot insert void employee. What I have done? Okay, so basically right now you can see, guys, I'm not using any access specifier, and because of that reason you can see it is not possible for me to access this. It is not possible for me to access this data members and member functions, right everyone? It is not possible for me. So here, what I will do now, I will make this data members, okay, as private only, and by default they are private, and I will make this member functions as public, right? That is public. This one here, right? Let me run the code now. So now you can see, guys, name, right? For name, let's take the name that is okay, let's take any name, that is Virat. Okay, here, right? Virat and Kohli here, right? And after that, you can see now I'm able to take a line having a space here, right? Now you can see, guys, it is not skipping, right? When I'm taking the input using cin for the character array, it is getting skipped, right? Now if you have to take a line having spaces, then you have to use this cin dot get line. Okay, for age, let's assume the age is 34, and the designation here, Virat Kohli, and why it is not working here for the designation one. Cin dot get line designation, right? Okay, this one here. So name is age 23. Okay. So guys, what mistake I have done here? Anyone? So here, let me take the designation. Okay, designation is a single designation, so there is no need to take this one, right? This one, and this one here, right? Let me run the code now. Okay, so here Virat, and after that age is 23, designation is manager. Okay, this one here, right? So you can see, guys, now I'm getting the data also, that is after taking the input from the user, you can see I'm calling the display function, and with the help of the display function I am fetching the data here. That is, for the name we are getting Virat, for age we are getting 23, and for the designation we are getting manager here, right? This is clear, everyone? Yes or no? Okay, please write in the chat if this is clear. Sir, is it necessary to make private and public member of a function? I don't think so. It depends on the problem statement, okay? it depends on the problem statement. You can make, if you don't want your functions to be like, if you want to hide your function from outside world, you can make those member functions and the data members as private. And if you want to show if you want to show those member functions and data member outside the class, you have to make that as public. Okay, that is clear. Great. And now let's see what is happening behind the scene also, right? So here, what I have done, this one, this one here. So what I have done, first I have created the blueprint, right, everyone? This is my blueprint here. And inside the blueprint, we have what? We have the name, right? We have the age, and we have the designation. This is the blueprint, right, of employee class, right? After that, what we are doing? We are creating a copy of this blueprint, right? That is our object here. And inside this object, we have these data member defined, right? That is your name, and corresponding to name, what we are doing? We are storing Virat, right? Age, we are storing 34, and designation, we are storing manager here, right? Similarly, again, if I have to create a new employee, what I will do? I will directly use the template, right? There is no need to create a new template. I will directly use the template and I will create a new object here. And now, again, this object will create, this object will contain all the properties and functionality of a class. So name is here, age is here, and designation is here, right? And here, let's assume the name is Sanjay, right? Age is 25 and designation is engineer, right? You guys are getting the point. So with the help of a single blueprint, you can create multiple objects, right? With the help of a single blueprint, you can create multiple objects, right? And these objects take memory inside your computer. That is clear? Yes or no? Okay, great. Great. So now, guys, here, one more thing. So here, what we are doing, we are creating a static object, right? We are creating a static object. What about dynamic object, right? So in order to create a dynamic object, what I will do, I will use a new keyword, new employee here, right? Like this and this one here. And after that, I know this new keyword will do what? It will go inside your heap, it will allocate the memory, and it will give the starting address of the memory block. And we have to store the address somewhere. So for that reason, what I will do, I will create a pointer, right? So here I have created what? I have created a pointer E1 that is holding the address of employee, right? That is holding the address of employee. That is clear. And after that, when you are creating a pointer, then E1 dot will not work here, right? So how you have to do, like how you have to call the insert function, how you have to call the display function, you have to use a arrow keyword. That is this one here, like this, like this. Okay, like this, you have to call the data members and member function of a class, right? This is one of the syntax, and the next syntax is what? If you are not comfortable with this syntax, so directly you can dereference your pointer. How to dereference the pointer? That is by using asterisk E1, right? Yes or no? Asterisk E1 dot display. That is clear? Yes or no, guys? Asterisk E1 dot display. So either you can use the arrow symbol, or what you can do, you can dereference your pointer here, right? That is clear. So what is happening here is like this, right? That is we have this stack, right? This stack is here, and this heap is here, right? Heap is here. And after that, what we have done, we have created an object of employee class, right? That is E1, right? Using new keyword, that means memory will get allocated here. And here we have the name, we have the age, and we have the designation, right? And by default, it stores the garbage value, right? By default, it stores the garbage value. After that, what you have done, this one here, right? This is the memory allocated for the object, that is E1 employee star E1 is equal to new employee here, right? So this new keyword will go allocate memory inside the heap, and after that it will return the starting address. Let's assume the starting address is 800, and that 800 will get stored inside the pointer, and this pointer will be created where? Inside your stack, that is this one, right? And pointer occupies how much memory? It occupies 8 bytes. So 8 byte will get allocated here, right? And let's assume the starting address of this memory block is 1020. And inside this memory block, you are storing what? You are storing the address, right? That is 800 here, right? That is clear. Now, if you have to call the data members or member functions, right? So what you will do? You will do even, and after that you have to use either this arrow operator, or what you can do, you can dereference it, right? You can dereference it. That is what you are saying. You are saying ki, okay, whatever is stored inside the pointer, whatever is stored inside the pointer, I will go at that particular location and I will try to access that particular thing. So here even dot insert function, right? Or even dot age, like this, you can access it like this. This is clear? Yes or no? First you are dereferencing it. That means first you are going to that particular memory location, and after that you are accessing the data member and member function of that particular class, right? Please give a thumbs up if this is clear. Okay, great. And guys, one more thing happened behind the scene. Okay, when this line is getting executed, when your object is getting executed, right? When this line is getting executed, then one more thing will happen behind the scene, right? That is, your constructor will get called. Okay, that is behind the scene. It is doing this part. That is even dot employ, right? Even dot employ, like this. Like this. So this will get called, right? So what does this mean? Here you can see, guys, the name of this function is same as your class name, right? Name same as class name, right? And this is a constructor. First of all, this is a constructor. So basically, by default, a constructor will get called behind the scene. If you have created any constructor, well and good. If you haven't created any constructor, it will create a new constructor, that is a default constructor, right? And it will initialize the data member. That is, what is constructor then? The constructor name is same as your class name, right? First point. The second point is constructor will not return anything, right? Not return, no return, right? Not return anything. And since it is not returning anything, it will have no return type also. No return type also. It is similar to a function, but it has some differences. That is, the name is same as your class name. It has no return type. It will not return anything. And the main task of constructor is what? It is used to initialize data member of a class. Initialize data member of class, right? And if you are not creating any constructor, right? If you're not creating any constructor, a default constructor will get created, right? Default constructor will get created behind the scene for you. What is the default constructor? Default constructor is having no argument in it, right? So here we have this employee. So like this, employee, and this one here. So this will get created behind the scene for you, right? This is clear. And the last point of constructor is what? It is called while creating the object of a class, right? Okay, called during the object creation. This is clear? Yes or no? Okay, so by default, a default constructor is getting created, and we have one more constructor, that is a parameterized constructor. And parameterized constructor means what? It parameterized constructor means it is having some parameters, right? So let's see here in this example also. So basically right now I'm not creating any constructor, right? Right now I'm not creating any constructor, but here at this line, that is at line number 28, behind the scene, a default constructor will be called, that is even employee, like this. A default constructor will get called behind the scene. Okay, everyone. This one here. And the responsibility of default constructor is what? It is used to initialize the data member of a class. That is by default value. The default value is what? Garbage value. Right, everyone? And you can create your own constructor also, right? So how to create your own constructor? Let's create the own constructor right here. That is here. So here, according to the definition of a constructor, the name of the constructor is same as your class name. that is employee here and here, right? And after that, it is having no return type and it is not returning anything. That's why I haven't given any return type, and that's why I will not return anything here, right? And here what I will do, let's initialize the data member, that is age is equal to 23. Or what I can do here, let's see when it is getting called, right? That is out, out, and constructor called, right? Constructor called here, this one here, right? Let's see this one. Let's run the code now. So guys, you can see first what is happening. First, this constructor is getting called. Why this constructor is getting called? You can see, guys. We know the entry point from where the execution will start is what? It is the main function. So you will go to line number 32, and at line number 32, what you are doing? You are creating an object, and the moment you will create an object, constructor will get called. Okay, so first it will go and check inside the class whether you have defined your own constructor or not. If you have defined your own constructor, it will call your own constructor. And if you haven't defined any constructor, it will call a default constructor, right? So here you can see, guys, you have defined your own constructor. That's why it's calling it, right? This is clear. So let's create one more constructor, right? This is a default constructor. What about parameterized constructor, right? So employee and one more thing, guys, one more observation is what? It is getting called at the time of creation of object, right? So here int a, int n, sorry, char n, right? Int a only. Let's create int a only, right? This one here. Okay, so basically you can create multiple constructor, but you have to give the differentiation. Okay, all the constructors should be different. Okay, how you have to give a differentiation? By the parameters, right? So here you can see at line number 10, this constructor is having no parameter. At line number 14, this constructor is having one parameter, right? And this one here, let me see now. That is this one here, right? Constructor called and constructor to called. Okay, that is this one here. Now let me first run the code, right? Let's see what output I will get now. So first, this is not executing, right? This is not executing. That is line number 14 constructor is not getting executed, right? Why? Because first this line number 36 will get executed. And from here, what we are doing is, guys, basically we are calling a default constructor. So here it will go and it will check whether you have defined a default constructor or not. Yes, we have defined a default constructor. That's why it is going inside the default constructor and it is just executing this particular line, right? And now if I have to execute the parameterized constructor also, then what I will do? I have to now create the parameters here, right? Let's assume the parameter is 34, right? This parameterized constructor is doing what? It is expecting integer input, right? Here you can see the parameter is of integer type. That's why I'm passing 34 here, right? Let's see now. You can see, guys, now the default constructor is not getting called. Only the parameterized constructor is getting called. That's why we are getting constructor to called printed on the output screen. Correct, Roshan? If you have to call a constructor, you have to create an object, right? That is clear. Everyone present in the class? And here, let me call one more constructor, right? One more time. So for each object, the constructor will get called. That is this one here, E1 and E2 here, right? This one here, and here, default constructor, right? Let's see now. This one here. You can see, guys, first parameterized constructor is getting called, and after that, default constructor is getting called, right? Yes or no? First parameterized constructor is getting called, and after that, default constructor is getting called. That is clear. Okay, tell me, guys, what will be the output if I will remove this default constructor from here? That is from line number 10, I will comment this part, that is the default constructor, and at line number 37, I am creating an object, and here the constructor is default one. Can you guys tell me, will I get the output or I will get some error? Please write in the chat. Will I get the output or I will get some error? Question is clear. What I have done, I have commented the default constructor. This parameterized constructor is there, right? After that, I am creating two objects. One object And in this object, I'm passing the parameterized constructor, right? Parameters I'm passing, and in the second one, I'm not passing any parameter, right? So tell me whether I will get the whether I will get the answer on the output screen or I will get some error. Okay, correct, correct. Now I will get an error, right? Let's see. Here you can see. Here you can see. We are getting an error. What error? No matching found for call this. It is not able to find the default constructor. You guys are getting the point. So the moment you have created a constructor, then it will not create any default constructor by default, right? It will check whether you have defined any constructor or not. So here also for the parameterized constructor, it is going to the class and it is able to find the parameterized constructor. But for the default one, it is not able to find any default constructor, right? We have commented this part. That's why we are getting an error, right? That's why we are getting an error here, right? That is clear? Yes or no? Please give a thumbs up if this is clear. Great. So what we have learned till now, we have learned about object-oriented programming, right? We have learned about class and objects. What is class? Class is a blueprint or template that defines the properties and functionality of an object, of a specific object. And what is the object? Object is a real-world entity with the help of which we can use the data members and member function of a class, right? And what we have learned apart from this, with the help of one class, we can create multiple objects, right, everyone? And there is two way to create object, that is static way and your dynamic way. If you have to create an object using dynamic way, you have to use a new keyword, right? And after that, that new keyword is responsible for allocating memory inside the heap, and it will return the starting address of the memory block. And that address you have to store somewhere. And for storing the address, we need the pointer, right? So that's why we are using the pointer here, right? That is employee star E1. That is clear. After that, what we have learned? We have learned about constructor, right? What is constructor? Constructor is having the same name as the class name. It is not having any return type. It is not having any return value, right? And it is called at the time of creation of object, right? If you're not defining any constructor inside the class, a default constructor will get called behind the scene. And if you are defining any constructor, then that constructor, when you are creating the object, the constructor should match. And if it is not matching, you will get an error. And by default, all the data members and member functions are private. What is the meaning of private? That means you can't access the data member and member function outside the class. If you have to access the data member and member function, try to make them as public. And how you will make them as public? By using the keyword public here. That is clear? And there is two way to use this dynamic object, right? There is two way to call or to use the data members and member functions for the dynamic object, that is using arrow keyword and by dereferencing it, right? Yes. Okay, great. So now this one, great. So now time is what? It is 7:52 only, right? So here we will be having a quiz. Okay, wait for a minute. Someone will join and we will be having a quiz. Okay. So tell me, guys. Okay, one question from my side, right? This one. Okay, great. So here I have this class, right? Class employee, right? And after that we have this age, and we have this name, right? Cat name 20 here, right? And after that this one here, and we have this main function, right? We have this main function, and what I have done, I have created the object here, that is employee E1, right? Okay, give me a minute, guys. Okay. Okay, great. So here we have this E1, and after that, what we are doing, we are saying, okay, E1 dot age cout even dot age. Okay, guys, what I will get on the output screen? Please write in the chat. What I will get out on the output screen for this program? Yes, everyone. What I will get? Anyone? Question is clear. What output I will get? Garbage value? No, I will not get garbage value. Anyone else? Address? I will not get address. Why I will get address? Basically, I will get an error, right? I will get an error, right? Why error? Because these data members are private by default, right? These data members are private by default. That is clear. Not a junk value also, right? Not a junk value. These are private, so it is not accessible outside the class. If you have to use it outside the class, you have to make this as public, right? Right, everyone? This is clear. Okay, great. So, um, so now ma'am is present, right? Okay, great.
Hello, sir. Hello, students. Good evening, everyone. So, good evening, sir. So, guys, this is me, Anam, one of the team member of Let's Upgrade, and I'm here to just give you a small announcement. Then we'll start playing quiz. So, the announcement is like we have created our channel, Let's Upgrade channel, and I'm sharing the link on chat. Please do join there. We'll share the all the upcoming updates, our placement opportunities, our student ambassador programs, invitations and all. We will share all the upcoming updates about our essentials, about our like new paid programs. Hello everyone. We'll share everything on our channel, so make sure that you're joining us channel. We'll give all the updates over there. And so I have shared the link on chat, sharing it again. So please make sure that you are joining our channel. And now we'll start with quiz. I will share my screen. And then guys, remember, you need two devices for the quiz. From one which you will see the questions on screen, and from the second one you will be answering the question. You will be seeing only the options on your second device, so make sure that you are using two devices for this. I have shared my screen, and go to kahoot.it website. I'm sharing the. So this is the website. Go to this uh, page, and I have shared. I will be sharing you the pin. Enter this pin there and join the game. And please make sure that you're joining with your real username, real name. So this is the game pin. I will share it in the chat box. There are total 7 questions, and for each you will be getting 1 minute to answer. Guys, join fast. We'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes for everyone to join, then we'll start the game. Yeah. The game pin is 1716987. 1716987. Everything about our essentials or about our upcoming programs or tech updates or placement opportunities, everything will be g- uh, given in our WhatsApp channel. So make sure that you're joining there. Harshil, invalid link. Which link is invalid? Which channel is invalid? We'll wait one more minute, then we'll start. And the winners will be getting the shout out on our social media account. So winners, please make sure that you send your uh, screenshot of the podium at last on our WhatsApp invite link. Acha, wait. Check now, guys. Is it still showing invalid? Is it still showing invalid, guys?
We can start with the quiz, okay? Because
Okay,
I can
so we'll
see
start with the
link is
game.
valid, okay? Hmm.
Okay. So guys, there are total 7 questions and you will be getting 1 minute for each question. So you have enough time to answer. The first one, in C++, how is a single line comment denoted? Guys, you have 4 options. 11 people have only answered. 36 seconds. Eight seconds left. 0. So the right option is A. We'll move to the second question. Vishaka is leading. And the second question, who is the creator of C++? Who is the creator of C++? Again, you have 4 options. I hope many of them would be knowing the answer. Hmm. 14 seconds. And 0. Time is up for this one. And the right option is B. Oh, Abhishek is leading now. And And the third question, which of the following variable declaration is used to store a single character in C++? Guys, which of the following variable declaration is used to store a single character in C++? Again, you have four options. String A, string J. Decrease the time limit. Why you people were spamming like you don't get enough time to answer, so that's why we increase the time. Many of them were facing the issue, time issue, so that's why we increased it to 1 minute. 15, 14, 13. 5 seconds left, guys. And yeah, 0. So the right one is A. We'll move to fourth question. This in C++, what is the scope of a local variable declared inside a function? What is the scope of a local variable declared inside a function, guys? You have four options again. Accessed from any part of the program, accessed only within the function which it is declared, accessed from any file in the project, or accessed only within the class where it is declared. You have 25 seconds.
And Adam, please try to read this options also, because in some of the screen it is lagging. Okay.
It's lagging.
Yes. But yes, you can read the options so that it is easy for everyone to mark the
Ah,
correct answer, right?
then there might be a net issue from my side.
Hmm. Hmm.
What does the void return type indicate in a C++ function? Repeating again, what does the void return type indicate in a C++ function? You have again four options. The function doesn't return any value. The function returns a floating point number, returns an integer value, D returns a boolean value. Attendance link is there in the description box. You can get it from there. Deepak, what does the void return type indicate in a C++ function? Ten seconds left, guys. And 0. The correct answer is A. And Abhishek is still leading in the scoreboard. Second last question, 5. How do you create a variable with the numeric value 5? Num x is equal to 5, double x is equal to 5, integer x is equal to 5, or x is equal to 5. You have four options. Num x is equal to 5, double x is equal to 5, integer x is equal to 5, x is equal to 5. How do you create a variable with numeric value 5? 16 seconds.
Anam, I also can take part in this quiz or what?
Sorry, sir.
I also can take part in this quiz.
हाँ sir, sure. You can also take part.
Okay. Okay, great. Let's see
अच्छा,
who will
Abhishek is
win.
you only क्या?
Yes, my name is only Abhishek. Hmm. But I will not answer this one. Okay.
Oh, so guys, sir itself is your competitor. So make sure that you are answering with the minimum seconds.
Hmm.
Which data
Guys, you
type
have
is
to
used to
defeat me also.
create a variable that should store?
Hmm.
Which data type is used to create a variable that should store text? My my string txt text. Wait, Deepak, I will share the attendance link in the description box again. Sorry, in the chat again. 20 seconds. Which data type is used to create a variable that should store next text? Sorry. 10 seconds. 9 seconds. Now we'll see the podium. Who are the top three winners, guys? And the correct one is C option. So third is Prashant, second is Rohan, and first one is of course Abhishek sir. Yeah. So winners, please share your. Sir, मैं C++ में बहुत weak हूँ. You can watch our C++ videos from day one on our channel. Guys, please send the screenshot of this podium in this mail which I have shared in chat. We'll give you the shout out. Will revert there. So please share the screenshot of your screen on that email. I have answered 3 questions, but I'm on 13th there. Guys,
Guys, we
please
have
send
discussed
the
most of the
screenshot
questions. Hmm.
on this mail. Whoever are the winners. So we'll wind up, and guys, please make sure that you're joining our WhatsApp channel to get the upcoming updates and reminders about the essentials, about the tech related queries, about the placement opportunities, and everything related to Let's Upgrade. Also, our paid programs will be like we will share all the details of that in our channel. So please make sure you're joining there. नेक्स्ट गेम कब होगी? कल. कल हम वापस से क्विज खेलेंगे. एंड सो बाय गाइस फॉर नाउ. बाय सर, बाय एवरीवन.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone for attending the session.